playoffs. Joel Embiid rocking the red, averaged 25 points per game in round one versus Brooklyn in just 24 minutes a game.
Thriller, thriller night.
And Kawhi Leonard averaged 30 points per game versus Philly this season. That tips off in less than an hour. Sixers and Raptors. Pepsi Center in Denver. That's the location for Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Spurs. The only first-round series still being played. Welcome to Game Time Live, presented by State Farm. Chris Miles here with Billy King and Caron Butler. It's a doubleheader tonight. The second round of the Eastern Conference starts with Game 1 between the Raptors and 76ers at 7:30 on TNT. The second game of tonight's doubleheader, like we said, a Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Spurs. The Nuggets had the best home record in the NBA this season. In your Game 7 experience, does that put more pressure on the Nuggets, the second seed, the home team against the Spurs?
Look, I always think that they put more pressure on the home team, because you have a lot of expectations. And when you come into that space, I recall me playing with the Los Angeles Clippers, and we went to the Memphis Grizzlies, and it was a Game 7, and we knew that they had a amount of pressure on their shoulders that they just couldn't handle. Every basket, every opportunity, the runs that we had, it just felt like an explosion on their end, and they wasn't able to recover. And then you have the crowd echoing, this, oh, what are you doing? Or what's that? And that ball gets real heavy, man. It's kind of like Philly, right? So, everybody just displaying their emotion, and it puts you in an awkward situation where, look, man, it can be tough to play at home.
Yeah, and I was involved in Game 7 as a coach, assistant to Indiana Pacers. We played the Knicks at Game 7 at the Garden. Patrick hit the follow-up tip in. We lose that one. Then the next year,
remember that one.
And you do remember the next year, Game 7, second round, playing the Knicks at the Garden. We win that one. So it can go either way. And then we played Shaq in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, lose that one at home. Then as Brooklyn as a GM, we had a Game 7. So it's a lot of Game 7s. And I think Toronto, we played them when I was in Philadelphia as GM, had a Game 7 at home. Vince misses a shot, we win. Play Milwaukee in the conference final. Big Dog misses a shot, we win. So there's a lot of pressure, but I think more of the pressure is on the home team because the expectation is to win. They throw these stats that you're supposed to win. So I like being a visitor because you have nothing to lose. You're not supposed to win the game.
Well, if you're the Denver Nuggets and you look at what the Joker did in Game 6, you would think that you came out of that one with a victory on Thursday night. Jokic was aggressive, taking 30 shots. It resulted in a magnificent stat line, 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Still, it's the Spurs that came out on top with a 17-point win, which brings us to DeMar DeRozan and the Spurs starters as a whole. DeRozan missed a total of 4 shots while scoring 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He spearheaded a Spurs offense that was lights out. 8 of 9 players shot over 50% from the floor. That includes all 5 starters. San Antonio bench outscores Denver's bench 36-13. Here is DeMar DeRozan looking back at his first Game 7 experience.
First Game 7 was against, I think, Brooklyn, against nothing but veterans. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson. It was probably one of the most intense, series I ever played in. Everybody know KG, how crazy he is. So that whole energy and that whole atmosphere for my first go-round was definitely one of the greatest learning experiences. For me, just that toughness is understanding how hard it is to win that last game.
We are playing at home. That's maybe a little good thing for us. We need to go there and give our best. Just go out there and work and punch people, playing physical, setting screen, whatever you need to do just to get the win.
Man, go out there and play. Don't think too much like it's a Game 7, but play like we played last game. Play like you want to continue to keep this thing going.
Well, we know the Spurs' pedigree under Greg Popovich. 22 straight years in the playoffs. Their last Game 7 was a loss in a thriller versus the Lob City Clippers in the 2015 first round. Tim Duncan had 27 for the defending champs, but in the end, it was Chris Paul's pull-up jumper that was the difference, heading the Spurs their only 7-game first-round series loss in the Pop era. for the Nuggets, the last Game 7 was in the 2012 first round. Ty Lawson and company were hanging with the Lakers in Staples under Kobe Bryant, hit his fadeaway dagger to put Denver away. Lakers won 96-87 and advanced to the conference semis. Well, the Spurs looking to avoid being eliminated in the first round of consecutive years for the first time in the Coach Pop era. Caron, how crucial is DeMar DeRozan playing the way he is right now, looking confident, and them coming out a winner tonight?
Look, I think they're big three with their seasoned veteran guys when you talk about LaMarcus Aldridge and Rudy Gay. And obviously DeMar DeRozan are crucial, but DeMar DeRozan is the guy that has to spearhead this charge. And I think you're going to see him, try to do a lot of what you're seeing on this film right here. Get into his sweet spot. He's the mid-range assassin. He recognizes when the double team is coming, when the switch is happening. Look at Joker. Look, there's nothing you can do with that. Will Barton not going to really guard or contest that situation. Foul in one. He had enough battle-tested games where he's ready for these moments. Look, pushing the length of the floor, recognizing, look, I got a mismatch here. Get through, clear out, got a little contact, finish on that play. His sense of urgency is just so much different.
It's the masters of the mid-range.
Yeah, come on, man. Look, 75%, 12 for 16 overall in the mid-range space. And look, he's not just doing it on one side. He's doing it pretty much all over the place. So he's a tough cover, man. He's bringing the mid-range game back, and I love what he's doing.
Well, I look at it as I love Greg Popovich because he changes his style for the personnel. Some coaches don't change their style. They want guys to just be able to shoot threes, and they won't play if they can't. Pop got DeRozan. He's a mid-range guy, so he plays that way. He's not going to take something to make him do something he's not used to doing. So I love the fact that he's playing mid-range. And the one thing is he'll get to the free throw line and get and one, so he'll get those 3 points that way. But they're playing basketball with what they have to win.
Now, for the Nuggets, look, they're looking to advance to the second round for the first time since 2009. Again, if you look at Game 6, you see what Jokic did, you would think, oh, they should have won that one. Why wasn't that the difference?
Well, the one thing, he didn't get to the free throw. I think he shot maybe 4 or 5 free throws at those 43 points. So it's great to get 43 points, but you got to put pressure, get free throw. In the playoffs, you want to get guys in foul trouble. You don't want to be playing against the top line off defense. And so 43 points is great, but I want to see the big fella with that body get some free throws. Don't just stand out to shoot threes, avoid contact. He's got to get fouled and get some of those other guys on the bench. Get LaMarcus Aldridge on the bench so he's not playing against those top starters all the way.
Ron, when I look at Jamal Murray and what he's done in this series, in wins, he's been incredible, shooting over 50% from the floor. In losses, you see the percentage and you see the points. What's been the difference with him in those wins and those losses?
Look, I think his activity. I think he has to really exert himself offensively early in these ball games. When you come out, especially at home, get some type of confidence going, get something close to the basket. Everybody's searching for the long balls. You see him shooting it right there. But, if you're able to get involved and they play a reaction style offense, and look, there you go, see a backdoor cut right there. So if his activity is high and he's assisting the basketball, being a facilitator, being aggressive on the scoring end, they're going to trend in the right direction and have a realistic shot at winning this Game 7.
A big man having his team trending in the right direction. Sound like you're talking about those Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid will play tonight, and his minutes are allegedly up. We head out to Toronto next for a preview of Game 1. You're watching Game Time Live.
Better play with that red
jacket. Number 6.
Game 7, how much do you have to say? For us, we're lucky that we're playing in front of our home crowd. And we understand that, like Game 3, we can't put forth the defensive effort like we put forth tonight. We responded in Game 4 and 5, and the hope is that we'll respond in Game 7.
We are playing at home. That's maybe a little good thing for us. We need to go there and give our best. Just go out there and work and punch people, playing physical, setting screen, whatever you need to do just to get the win.
Win or go home. Simple as that. Once you understand the meaning of that going into that game, you understand that every single second on that court matters. You don't want to walk off that court preparing for summer. That's it brings out a different side of you.
We let a couple go. I don't think anybody in this locker room thought we were down or ready to go home. you know, even still, we're still packing for a week. We're trying to go to Portland after this, so, you know, we're confident, we're ready to go. We're not going to pack for no reason, so, you know, if I'm going to pack my clothes, I'm going to use them.
There's so much to get to in this Game 7. We've got to start with this because regardless of what happens after what we saw in Game 6, the question was, okay, Jokic, right? You want to be a superstar. You've been an MVP type of candidate, probably going to finish top 5, Smitty, right? All-NBA kind of a player. Has he kind of answered those questions, or we still need to kind of stamp it with him being the best player on the floor in Game 7 for Denver to have a chance to win?
Well, you know, I think regular season he stamped that for me, but the playoffs is totally different. And he's had a fantastic playoff, Billy. But now this is Game 7. You're the number 2 seed. You shouldn't be here when you start talking about 2 and 7. But we do understand they're the San Antonio Spurs. For me, not just Jokic, but the entire Denver Nuggets. You can't just have 12 free throw attempts in the last game they have. And if you're Jokic, you can't have 30 field goal attempts and only get to the line 4 times. You got to find a way to get to the line, get some easy points, especially at home. I'd rather you have 30 points with 15 free throws because that means you're breaking down the defense, you're getting guys in foul trouble. The entire Nuggets got to get to the free throw line a little bit more than 12 for me.
You know, consistency, all-star play, LaMarcus Aldridge, and then you think about he and Pop, Billy, and the relationship and how that has we always focus on negative story. What a great story that is, and how both kind of came and said, hey, look, this is what we need to do. How much do both he and DeMar need to be at the forefront, regardless of experience, if they're going to win this game on the road, which will not be easy?
Well, I think it's those 2 guys, but if you look at it, I think it's Rudy Gay as well as Patty Mills. In the last game, those 4 guys took 77 of the 84 shots. And that's what's going to need to happen in this game. The veteran guys are the ones who need to step up. The young guys will feed off him, but it's going to be the veteran guys that need to take the big shots because, one, they'll get the respect of the referees because they've been in a situation, but also they understand time and score. The young guys will feed off them with the energy, but it's going to take those vet guys to continue to do what they're doing, taking the shots and being aggressive with the basketball.
Mentioned energy, Smitty. You've been in these kind of games when you're sitting there in a Game 7. Younger players, it's their first time, regardless of what you tell them. How much, when it's friendly atmosphere, does that help you at the start of a game with the natural nerves that are going to come with it?
Well, I think for those guys is if you want your fans behind some younger guys, and usually young guys play better at home, whether it's regular season or playoffs. And this is a big one. This is totally different. Game 7s are totally different than playoff games. But I will say if you're Denver Nuggets, Billy said it best. I'm leading to a veteran like Paul Millsap. Set the tone for these young guys. You come out, be more aggressive. Get those guys easy shots. And then those young guys, if their first 2 or 3 shots go in, then they're fine. But I think when you're Millsap, he's had a good series. It's time for him to have an impact on this game in Game 7 where he has one of those games. It might not be 30 points, might not be 25, but he sets the tone and he gives those young guys a lot of confidence in the way he comes out and plays.
All right, let's talk confidence. Game 7, Billy. Who's moving forward?
Well, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think San Antonio is going to be the team to move forward because I've been in this situation as a coach with Indiana Pacers and as a GM. And when we went to New York, there wasn't much pressure in Game 7. We ended up losing Patrick and Tippin. The next year we beat them in a Game 7. Then I was at home on a Game 7, when we were in Philadelphia, and there was a lot of pressure. We were the number 1 seed, like they are the higher seed. And we had Game 7. Vince Carter had a chance to make a shot in 2001. He missed it. Then we had Game 7 in the conference finals. Milwaukee, Glenn Robinson had a chance. So to me, it's easier when you're on the road because the fans are against you. When you're at home, there's a lot of pressure because the fans expect every missed shot, if he gets close, that you hear the gas from the fans. So I'm going to go with the Spurs just because I think it's much easier for a visiting team to go in there and drown out the fans.
Smitty?
I've been on both sides. Lost a Game 7, actually lost a Game 7, whether it was home and away. And I think it comes down to now the Denver Nuggets, these young guys, they play so well. Since the middle of November to the end of the regular season, they're 28-4. I'm going to give the nod to the Denver Nuggets.
Okay, I like that. I'm going with the Nuggets. I think they're going to find a way. They also got shooters. They got shooters who, at home, to your point, Jamal Murray, I think, has got to be big in this game. By the way, did you say games in New York in Game 7? Doesn't that sound just about right?
It was 1990.
They got a guy from Duke already.
That was 93 and 94.
Okay. We got more to talk about here as we continue.
I know. What grade were you in 93, 94?
Nope, don't know what you're talking about. I was in high school. We got more coming up. Don't go anywhere.